Hello, it's Layperson Lisa with a reflection on the readings for the 23rd Sunday in Ordinary Time. This Sunday we hear our St. Paul's letter to Philemon, and St. Paul is writing a personal letter to Philemon, asking Philemon to take Onesimus, his runaway slave who probably stole some stuff and took off, to take him back, but not as a slave, as a brother in Christ. So Onesimus encountered Paul, and Paul shared Jesus with him. Onesimus became a Christian and developed a deep friendship with Paul, in that Paul is writing to Philemon asking, please take Onesimus back, not as a slave, but as your brother. And when I'm sending Onesimus back to you, but I'm also sending you my heart. And so it just made me think how sometimes maybe in our lives, in certain encounters with people, we are not being brothers and sisters in Christ to them, maybe, or they're not being brothers and sisters to Christ in us. And sometimes we can see this in ministry. Sometimes the way we treat each other is not with love, but maybe sometimes with an arrogance, maybe sometimes with it's like last Sunday's gospel, I'm at a place of authority here, a place of prestige, and I'm not allowing myself to see others as Jesus, but I'm also not letting those other people see me as Jesus. And so it just made me think of a few years ago when I got my I bought a Chosen shirt, and I was I remember I was wearing it at a supermarket, and the line was long, and I was just kind of being impatient, and I was like, oh, I looked down, I'm like, I have a Chosen shirt on, I need to represent Jesus. But we always need to be representing Jesus. And for me, that was kind of like a mental check, I'm being impatient. My thoughts are being impatient. And so I need to be Jesus. And, I'm wearing a Christian t-shirt, so people are I gotta really represent. But you know what? We're always representing Jesus. And so it's a way to allow ourselves to see each other as Jesus, to be Jesus, and to just have a greater intentionality of everyone that we meet to be Jesus, to be that vessel of love to others. Also, I was thinking how in Paul's letter, in the beginning of Philemon, which we don't hear at Mass, how he says that I pray that the sharing of your faith may promote the knowledge of all the good that is ours in Christ. And so often we get focused, or we're focused on the things that we're doing. And I was talking to someone about this recently, what is my purpose? I don't know what I should be doing next, but our purpose is to know Jesus. He wants us to just give him our whole selves. He wants us to love him. And when we spend time with him, that's showing him how much we love him, how much we cherish him, how important he is in our lives. And so that's what the gospel is telling us today. It's telling us how if anyone comes to me without hating their mother and father and wife and children and brothers and sisters, but he's not telling us to hate them. He's telling us to put himself above every other relationship, that he is the source of everything, that he is the most important. Because when we have things rightly ordered, then we can love the other people in our lives like Jesus does. But if it's disordered, if we're putting other people before our relationship with God, then that can affect not only how we are relating with God, how we see things in the world, how we are relating with the people around us, and how we handle things. Because when we put Jesus at the forefront of everything, when we focus on our relationship with him, then he guides us in what to do. He guides us in what he's calling, who he's calling us to minister to, what he's how he's calling us to share his love with others. So when we focus more on the relationship with God rather than, oh, what do I need to be doing, which I know is hard because I like to do stuff, but it's also important for me to remember that I'm doing it to be drawn closer to God. I'm doing these things that maybe sometimes I don't care to do. I'm being more intentional and like, okay, Jesus, I don't care to do this, but I'm going to do it and offer it to you, and that you may merit graces for me and the people that I may encounter. And I will tell you that that has really changed how I approach the situations that I don't necessarily want to do, the things I don't love to do. But it's kind of transforming my heart and like, oh, you know what? Like I can love to do these things because I want to love other people, and I want to love God, and do things that I don't necessarily want to do, because that's in the gospel he tells us how we have to carry our cross, right? And so that's carrying a cross, doing things that we don't want to do, offering them to him, and doing them with love despite how we feel about the thing. And that's what draws us into deeper relationship. Like, okay, Lord, I can do anything because I don't necessarily like to do this, but I'm doing it for you, and I can do it with great joy because I know that you're in my heart and I'm bringing you with me. And it's really changed my perspective on things. Instead of grumbling like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, to like, no, I'm offering this up for God, and I'm gonna allow myself to be a vessel and not get consumed with the things like, oh, this is not my favorite thing to do. No, I'm going to be present to the people around me, and that's what God calls us to do. So where are you not allowing yourself to be present to others because you're so focused on what do I need to do? How is what you feel called to do drawing you into deeper relationship with God? And are you allowing yourself to treat everyone as a brother and sister in Christ?